Hey everyone, this is the 2021 LEGO City Wildlife Rescue Camp Set. This play set has so much going on, I'm not even going to list all the stuff, I'm just going to get straight into showing you the individual components, starting with some animals. The elephant is new for 2021, and there are only 2 sets with this set of molds for the elephant. However, this is the only one that comes with the longer tusks included, but those are interchangeable. They just have bar-sized holes in the head. The articulation for this one includes moving the head up and down. You can tuck in just a little bit like that, and also rotating it from side to side this way. You can also rotate the trunk around, which tends to get just a little bit of gap there, but that uses a Technic pinhole, so you can do some other adjustments there. You can also change the angles of the tusks a little bit if you want to alter that up, or combine together these 2 motions. I wish that there was some articulation back here in the body, but overall, this looks really good to me, except for this big flat space, as I've talked about before. But it's nice to get a regular minifig compatible styled elephant at all again, which we haven't had in many, many years. The male lion with full mane is a new mold for the head for 2021, and that's dual molded, so the main body color is white, and then this is the tan is a different color of plastic, so it's not printed on, and thus everything is absolutely perfect around the edges. This particular color combination is exclusive to this one set. Interestingly, this is, as far as I know, this is not intended to represent an albino lion, because look at the eyes. It's not intended to represent a liger, that's for certain. It's a lion. This is intended to represent a white lion, which is a double recessive gene expression. In other words, something that happens naturally, that is not albinism, but is very, very rare in the wild. You can Google white lion and you'll find out more about these. It's a very interesting choice. I think that I think it would have been more valuable probably to introduce another more common color combination. So another with tan, maybe with a different print for the body, and then a different color for the mane, because they've got a more normal looking one as well. But then they also included this cub. So the idea here is that, you know, the cub got the exact same genetic luck as the father, but not in this case, because they also include a just normal tan cub, and that mold is new for 2021 also. And then over here is just a female lion, also has been used as a mountain lion or puma. And this is not new for this year, but still looks good as well and allows us to have a full family in one set. These monkeys are new for 2021, and this is one of 2 color combinations that they've come out with thus far. These are also dual molded, so the tan is one color of plastic and the dark bluish gray is another color of plastic, which you can then see on the underside here, just where that comes through. There's no articulation here whatsoever. I've talked about this before. I don't like the fact that these can't be reposed, and the fact that they have each one gigantic hand that's only in one particular pose. That just doesn't feel like the best to me. They can be kind of reaching for something or grabbing something. They can also hang from the tail. You can just have it, you know, just swinging from above. But you know, not the best design for something that you'd want to see in a tree, maybe climbing about. And then there's this Vulture. This is a recolor of the bald eagle that originally came out in a people pack, but this is strikingly different with how they printed up the head in particular. That looks really good to me. You know, there are some vultures that don't have super long necks, that do have a little bit more frills around the base of the head than the more stereotypical ones. So I think there actually are some vultures that look very much like this. But yeah, this is a respectable effort. I'm glad to see that mold used again. So they definitely took their opportunity there. And the production work here is very good. You know, the edges of where everything's printed are all crisp and the colors are opaque enough. So I'm happy with this. This is a good amount of terrain and structure build. This is the smallest bit here, which just represents a single rock. And you see a little bit of fire behind there. It's supposed to be completely hidden, but the idea is that a fire would suddenly sprout up, and then you need to go, you know, put that out as quickly as reasonably possible. This is intended to represent a little bit of untouched nature with some rock work here and a thick trunked tree that looks kind of like a baobab or baobab with a nest on the top. So that's intended to be the nest for the vulture. It's just a single egg there. It doesn't have any printing on it or anything. This is a fairly simple build, but I like it, and there are plenty of spots to connect other animals, either birds or you can have the monkeys up there and stuff. That all makes sense to me. And there's extra platform here if you want to put a lion just looking out there. It's kind of easy to see what that could represent, but this is not a licensed set. And they just left the back of this space open, which I think is a really good idea because you can use that as a cave then. Anybody who has imagination can use that as a cave, even though there's no detail inside. That adds play value to be sure. I'm glad that it's there. This whole area is more for the humans, and it's built on foundations of some of the 4+ or junior style quarter tree trunks, which allow you to build up very quickly. They haven't been exclusively used in the junior sets, but they're very simple, large pieces that just give you a lot of height and thickness as well in the build pretty quickly, and they don't look terrible. If you're considering that this is in the same area as that other tree that was more properly built up, this represents an older growth and makes enough sense. I like the overall shaping here. There are plenty of spots where, again, you can have things climbing up, whether they be animals or people. Things can be hidden away. It's completely accessible from all around, but for the people in particular, there's a ladder to get you access from the ground level to the first platform up, and this is just a single piece that's used here in the medium nougat color on the top. This crane is intended to be used to lift supplies up. Unfortunately, it doesn't really reach all the way down to the ground. It gets close-ish, but not close enough. I wish they had more reach to get to the ground to pick up some crates. There are a couple of them included in the set that I'll show you in a bit. This is a very scary little rope bridge, I suppose, so you have to be very careful crossing that, but at least there's an idea of access to the other side. This is just a little rest area. It simply has a table and there's a coffee mug in there. And then up here is an observation perch. So the idea is that you'd go around here and then use this ladder. So at least the suggestions are there for pedestrian access, which is better than we often get. This has some nice big binoculars here with a very simple build. A minifigure can walk right up to that. And the top is a tent. It's a cloth piece that's pre-folded a little bit. I wish it was folded the other way because the other side, that's the inside right now, is a little bit furry, just a little bit soft and has a little bit better look to it. But this works out very well, even not having any support down the middle, It gives you a good shape and a good look, I think, for the whole thing. So this is pretty effective. And of course, you got the water down here with a couple of the dark azure colored small 8x8 road plates or road plate compatible pieces, and also a dark azure colored ramp to allow your imagination to continue on beyond this space. Unlicensed Unimog looks great to me. This color scheme works really well for it. I appreciate the scaling of the wheels and tires. They're not too huge, and they also fit up into the wheel well areas nicely. So this whole thing, it has some legitness to it. It looks like it's trying to be semi-realistic, which is exactly what I like to see from Lego City stuff. It's still clearly a toy, but it looks cool. It's got a snorkel over on this side. This does have a printed piece here. This is a common printed piece throughout this sub-theme for the front, but then the sides use stickers, and there's one additional sticker inside. Now, figures can get access from the backs. It's nice that these here open up, but it's not a lot of access, and it's not good for us humans, so that's why the roof is able to open up, which is very convenient. And you see there's some lab stuff in there. So there's the other sticker with the large computer screen. You got the printed keyboard in there. I'm so happy to see another of the printed peanut packet tiles. And then there's a microscope on this side and one of the aforementioned crates, which can have supplies within it. You open this one up, and there are a few things for first aid, useful. You can also put the cast on the hand of a monkey, not just a human being. And the last crate right now is on this boat, a little inflatable, which has a set of tongs and some meat as well, which could possibly be related to some interactions with animals. This is a new mold for the dinghy base. It's a lot more useful than the old one because you have this full 4-stud width in the center, and a couple of 1x2 by 2/3 curved pieces are used in here to make it fill in a little bit better, but you could leave those out and use or have access to even more space still. They built up a little bit of a suggestion of a I don't know, is that like a dual water jet outboard kind of thing? I don't know, or maybe one of those. Are those both supposed to be exhaust? I don't know. Whatever it's supposed to be, it looks cool enough to me. Compared to the previous one, it does not have the clips on the sides, unfortunately, but in every other way, it's more useful with more attachment points. The last two builds are a pretty simple motorcycle that looks good regardless and does have a fire extinguisher there for a little bit of rapid response when you spot those embers in the distance behind that small rock. And this is intended to represent an ultralight. It just gives kids a way to fly around this space without taking up a whole bunch of pieces. So this does not add a lot to the budgeting for the whole set, but it's perfectly good for what it is. It makes enough sense to me. Again, uses that printed piece there on the front and holds just a single figure. Getting into the figures, the one on the left is a named character from the Lego City Adventures TV series called Sleet. I don't even remember that character myself personally, and I don't think there's anything unique to that one. In the middle, that's definitely my favorite of the characters or figures in this set, with a great hairpiece and also the very usable torso with the teal hands and everything. Yeah, that's really well done. I also like to get the pilot's helmet here on the right, even though it doesn't have the breathing apparatus to go with it. Still really nice looking. Not that new thing anymore, but still not the most common to date. No alternate face for that one is unfortunate. The same thing goes here. And then here are just 3 more unnamed characters with a little bit of variation, though they've got shared legs between them and shared torsos for the 2 on the left. Still, these work out fine in my personal opinion. And I'm not even entirely mad at the fact that this one here does not include a hairpiece, because it's okay to have somebody in a set be bald, but I do wish that the pilot from the previous trio had a hairpiece included. Finally, if I didn't make any mistakes, these are the leftover pieces, including this super valuable one right here. And like I said, the sticker sheet only had 3 items on it, and those were all for the truck. There is one thing I forgot to show you when I was going through the minifigures, and that is this old school original style of push broom in just a regular brown color. I'm actually surprised that this set doesn't include any poop pieces though, given that the broom is here, because it kind of would have gone together. But anyway, I paid $100 US for this set, and to be frank, I don't feel mad about that. I feel okay with that, because this is an expansive play set with a lot of stuff. I would have preferred a little bit more terrain myself, but the terrain that is here and the built up stuff is good. Like one more thing on this level, or even a little bit smaller than that, would have been nice. Just a very small tree and another rock formation larger than this, or if this had been scaled up a bit. Other than that, I couldn't really ask for more of this, because it does include so many animals, and good ones at that. Again, I gave my thoughts about the white lion. I would have preferred just another more normal looking lion, because those are just so rare. Maybe you'll get some kids to Google what is a white lion. Probably most kids will just assume it's an albino lion. Not that big of a deal. The number of figures I think is okay. The number of vehicles I think is very good. So those figures can do things and they can go off, beyond this space. I'm glad that they included the ramp here for the water, so kids can imagine the water continuing on elsewhere, and they can actually drive their boat, up and kind of dock it. I guess they could have included some sort of docking feature here, but it's not really that necessary. I just feel like there's enough stuff here that makes enough sense for a complete play set. A bunch of kids could work together, could play together with this and enjoy it a lot. Or you can combine it with other sets. Even from outside of this theme, it's very open-ended. So overall, yeah, I feel like this is worth it as the $100 set from the City line from their specialized sub-theme for this summer. I think it's pretty good to go, and I like what it's about. So pretty happy overall. Let me know what you think about it and what you think about its value in the comments, and I'll talk to you again soon.